Vanakkam, Krishna Mckenzie. This morning is going to be awesome. I'm going to show you how to forage and value all those plants that are sort of, you don't think that they have any value, and create the most amazing salad. And we're going to have a breakfast together. Okay, so come. We're going to start right here. Look, we have these decorative Potalaka here, but actually they're very, very good to eat. They're full of omega-3. It's quite good for helping with autism and ADHD. And yet you'll see them everywhere, almost every house. But how many people are using them? This is something we use every day in the cafe. Okay, the next plant is this Purslane, which is what we call the chicken spinach, and I'm taking it from here just to illustrate to you. Look, it's growing on the bloody path. It's just here. There's nothing to it. These things are literally everywhere. Look, there's more here. And what's really nice, you'll see in this salad, we're going to use a lot of flowers. So this one also has got these very lovely little purple flowers, and we're gonna even eat those flowers as well. So the next plant is the guava. Now, there are not so many guavas on the tree at the moment, but the good thing is you can eat the guava leaves. And when you cut it up small, in the salad, you'll have this, sort of taste of guava coming through. Now, you always want to use the tender leaves. Like these fat old leaves like this, they're good to make a tea, which is very nice. That's another video. But the tender leaves, they're just perfect to go in the salad. So we'll put some of these tender leaves here. So the next one is the tamarind. Now, around these, if you go in the villages, you'll see the little kids, they're always plucking these leaves and chomping on the tamarind leaves. Really good for reverse diabetes, but they're a little bit sour. They have that nice tartness. Again, it's the tender leaves. Look at these guys here. Look how tender they are. It's these tender leaves, the corundai. That's what we want to use. We want to use here. These older leaves, they might be good to make a powder. If you maybe wanted to treat diabetes, you might make a powder. But for the salad, we want to use these tender leaves. So we don't even have to go very far to find the next thing. This is the next thing. It's called ivy gourd. If you see, it looks like ivy. But this ivy gourd, or in Tamil we call it kovaka, is so nutritious, and it's really, really tasty. Some people might think, oh yeah, all of this, give me a Maggi noodles. But this is very delicious. It's like a very succulent lettuce. The next plant is the wild passion fruit. Now, there are no fruits on the wild passion fruit at the moment, but this is the plant. It's actually very velvety. It's got an amazing texture, but when you eat it, it's like, that's a very particular taste. It's really nice. So we use that all the time in the salad as well. So there's the wild passion fruit. There's actually quite a lot of it in here. If you sort of go inside here, you see it. Wow, it's creeping everywhere. And here you see we have the option to get the really tender, nice young tender leaves, and that's what we're looking for. Now the next plant, we don't even have to look very far. It's called the Guruchi, or the giloi. And this plant is a nectar of immortality. It's a very, very powerful plant, but still, it does have a value, and to integrate it into your food, you get its medicinal benefits. The next plant we have is a very interesting plant. It's called Chinese violet. And it is literally growing everywhere. It's very good for, I think, pulmonary problems, lungs and bronchial things. And it tastes a bit like mushrooms. But literally, look where it's growing. It's just growing everywhere. It's all over the place here. And it grows everywhere on the farm like this. It's tender and light, so it's perfect for a salad. So what's special about the salads in the farm cafe is that they have all these different tastes coming through. And this is one of the really special ones. This is called the Rosella, or Rosella. And it's in India, it's well known, especially in Andhra Pradesh, as a gongura. And they make a wonderful chutneys from it, pickles. But you can also make a vegetable dish, like a gongura rice from it, and a curry from it. But we put this especially in the salads and especially in our chutneys. So it brings a real tartness to the plant. It also has a red sort of fruit, which is they're called the calyx, and a flower that you can make a sherbet from. And you can use the seeds as a coffee substitute, and you can use the woody part to make rope. This is an amazing plant, really, and it grows, just everywhere. We never plant it; it just comes up on its own. Now we're foraging, but this is a farm, and on this farm we have got things like this type of I don't know if it's really a jalapeno, but it's a very lovely type of, it's sort of capsicum-ish, chili-ish, but it's not really spicy. It's very, very yummy. So, cutting a couple of those up into the salad is going to be delicious. We cut them up and we fry them up with raw grated papaya and with a little coconut. It's amazing. This is a wonderful plant. Flowers are a very important part of the salad, and this is the Clitoriatiana, and we use that a lot in the salad. It's good for women, for their uterus. It's good for memory, and it's good for it's good for, I think, children's brain development. This is something that's just growing everywhere, and it's something to be valued. It's as simple as that. Little black chilies, if you want it spicy, or maybe not, but maybe. In permaculture, we're always trying to value more than one thing. You're trying to get as much results from one action. Now, this pumpkin really exemplifies that. So with the pumpkin, the first thing we can value is are the tendrils. So when the tendrils are like this, they're really like delicious. They're crunchy. When they get you see, like this one has got all of this spirally. That's no good anymore, because actually they become very strong because they're pulling, to rise up. But when they have the gentle tendrils on it, the tender ones, that's really tasty. The flowers are also good. These flowers, we stuff them and then we roast them. You can also make a bhaji from them, but you can also just throw them in the salad like that, and they're really, really tasty. So the drumstick spinach here, and I'm pulling it down because I want the tender ones. This actually is almost like having, some sort of fresh spice. It's kind of like spicy when you eat it. Like, it's got like a spiciness to it. So when we put these tender leaves in the salad, that's also a very nice addition. Not only just the greens, but the actual taste. Corn, maize. So this is sweet corn, and it's actually been a bit damaged by the squirrels, which is no problem for me. I just clean it up but what I want to show you is the corn silk. Look, you see this corn silk? This is really good for urinary tract infections. And the other thing is it tastes really awesome. If you cook, for example, again, green papaya, we're constantly looking for ways how to make the green papaya interesting. Now, if you fry some, garlic, onion, a bit of this and that, and you put this in with it, and then add the green papaya grated as though it was a carrot, the whole dish tastes of corn. It's amazing, so this is a very beautiful thing to be adding. And of course we'll add we'll We'll take off the kernels of the corn as well and put that in the salad. Here's another beautiful plant that actually I've only just become aware of. It's you know, it's like a relationship. I've seen this plant all over the place, and I showed it to a friend yesterday. She says, yeah, I just throw it out. But it's actually a very tasty edible weed. It's called komolina, and you can eat it raw when it's young. As it gets slightly older, you can add it into the salads. It has this little blue flower, which I think is also edible. You better check these things out yourself. You know, it's really important not to say, oh yeah, I saw it on Krishna on his YouTube channel. But go and find out on the internet. Type in komolina, edible weed, medicinal value, culinary value, nutritional value. And then when you read that and you understand it, and then you come to eat it, that knowledge is yours. So here we have sweet potato. Now, everyone loves sweet potato, no doubt, but the leaves are not valued much. If you go on the internet, because all these things are on the internet, you know, it's not like I'm sort of fountain of a channel of nature, Mother Nature. I've actually researched a lot of things, and people have taught me and people have shown me, and then I've also checked it out for myself. But the sweet potato leaf, a lot of research was done in the University of Florida, and it has a very high nutritional value. It can be used in salads, it can be used in chutneys, and it can also be used in a stir fry. But look at how much there is. Again, we're going for the tender leaves. Now the tender leaves, they're often a bit more reddish in color. So this is one variety of sweet potato. That's a different variety of sweet potato. But it's the young leaves. And this is in general, you know, this is pretty much in general for all of what we're talking about. So the panangani is a weed that is, you know, really traditional in the Tamil culture. It's good for your eyes, and it's good for your skin. It makes your skin glow, they say. You know, it's like a very special plant, and it tastes really, really yummy. Normally, I cook it, but the tender leaves, no problem chucking it in a salad there. So there's a bit of panangani there. Now, something else that we need is papaya, green papaya. These ones are really, really, really small. You know, they have a little sap that comes out. Usually I just sort of tap them in the mud and the sap will block. And this one, you see how it's going a little bit orange? Just a little bit? That means inside it will be actually orangish, you know. If you take something like this here, this one is going to be completely green inside because it's not got any orange color on it. So both colors are really nice and both have a good taste, different tastes. But this is like super valuable in, you know, as a food source because it just grows everywhere and it grows without much water. There's no expertise. It just comes up almost on its own. I mean, not almost, it comes up on its own. So this is something that's sorely missing from our collective nutritional consciousness. Green papaya. Well, we live in an area where it grows. Well, why aren't we eating it? You know, why are we buying carrots that have to come in a lorry from far away? This is the narrative that we're trying to change. That's why we're doing this today. So again, we're in a farm now. So in the farm, we also have radishes growing. These are not particularly huge yet, but this radish is really good. The radish grated is amazing, but these little stems, they are really yummy, you know. And you see, these leaves here, they're all really tender. This is all going in the salad, everything. So this here, under this tree, is tipoli, which I've shown in many videos in the past. It's called a pipa longum in Latin. And it has these little candles, I don't know if you can see them, these little yellow candles. And they, you know, they're like this. Look, they're going to get a little bit bigger like this. Finally, they'll get about an inch, a bit more than an inch long, black. And it's a medicine that balances the doshas. You know, in Ayurveda, you have kapha, pitta, and vata, which is the fire element, the air element, and the earth element. and when they're out of balance, you get sick. So they balance the doshas, they remove toxins from the body. And we use them in the cooking, in the salad, whatever, in chutneys. But we also use the leaves. And the leaves, they say, it stimulates the agni. Agni in Sanskrit means fire. So the digestive fire, if you think about it, it's the fire in your belly that's burning up toxins. So this is a more sort of peppery taste. Look, there's one of them, look. This is a bit immature still, but they get more and more like that. And but these little peppers, yesterday I had these leaves in the salad, and for the first time I think we threw them in really like almost whole. So when you bit into the salad, all of a sudden you had a pepper taste in your mouth. And I thought that was really, really nice. You know, it was very refreshing to feel all these differences of taste. So I would really like to end the video soon and get to the cooking, but it's not going to happen. And you know why? There are so many things. Look, this is the bale fruits. So the bale fruit is supposedly Shiva's plant. Shiva has in Hindu mythology, he has this spear, a trident. So this is called the Trishul because it has the three leaves. And this is given when in India we have something called a puja. So in the pujas, it's like a ritual that the priest makes a prayer and everything. And at the end of it, the people are given something to eat. And sometimes you get this as the prasad, which is given to, you know, as a little offering. And I had it at my wife's house. My wife is from Tamil Nadu, and the priest gave us this after the puja, and I was like, wow, that tastes great. Why aren't we using that in the salad? So we started to put it in the salad. The bale fruit leaves. And again, you can check this out yourself on the internet, you know. You just go on the internet and read about bale fruit leaves. So this plant here is alternantera. It's a variety of amaranth. It's from the amaranthus family. And again, it has this little white flower that you can hardly see there. But it's usually we cook it. And I tell you the reason being, if you remember the Chinese violet, that's much more delicate. It sort of dissolves in your mouth almost. This is much a thicker leaf. But there's no reason you can't put that in a salad, especially if you're valuing, you know, a few, you know, tender leaves. I think what's important is the diversity. You know, a bit of this and a bit of that and a bit of this. And look, there's even this another variety of wild purslane here. This is also good to eat. I didn't even know it was there. You know, it's just, you keep looking, you'll keep discovering things. Look, here's more of the Satanikera that I was showing you. The Satana spinach, it's called in Tamil. A bit more of that there. If it was the season, we'd pull up these turmerics and we'd have a bit of turmeric as well. Again, back to permaculture, valuing diverse parts of a plant. This is a wing bean. Now the wing beans, they're not mature yet, you know, the plants are just growing, it's early in the season. But the young leaves here, these are sweet, you know. We have a lot of tastes in here, from peppery to sour, but these are literally sweet, you know, they taste very, very yummy. But again, they have to be young, they have to be tender. But a whole bunch of this in the salad will be like, wow, you know, it'll be like a big bonus. Later on in the season, we can add flowers of the wing bean. They're like popping candies, you know, they're really yummy. And it's basically from the pea family, you know, it's like very, very sweet. Sweet pea, you know, so it's a sweet plant. So these lemons here, they've actually, they're slightly young, I would say, but it's okay, they'll be good and juicy. These have actually been taken from a tree that had so many lemons, the branches would fall to the floor. They'd put roots, we pluck them and transplant them, and within a couple of years it started giving lemons. This is just like 3 years old, this tree, you know, it's really amazing. So this is a purple joyweed or Brazilian joyweed, and it's basically, again, it's an amaranth family, and it's very lovely. But again, the plants have to be tender. These plants, if you see, they're just on the edge of the field, so they don't really get any irrigation. But you could be putting this into a vegetable garden and grow it. I have a number of people where I've you know, I've pushed them to start trying to cultivate these edible weeds, and they actually have very succulent purple joyweed growing in their gardens because they give them a little bit of water. So here, these guys, you know, just a little bit they sort of manage, because when they're too hard, it's just not really what you want to be having in a salad. This is sort of still acceptable. Flowers. We've got pumpkin flowers. We've got Clitoriatiana. We've got the little purple, violet, pink flowers from the chicken spinach, the Clitoriatiana triangulare. Then we've got, you know, those little white flowers in the alternatera. But we can also use hibiscus flowers. Hibiscus flowers are really good for your heart. It won't help you for love failure, I'm sorry, but it is good for your, you know, your physical heart. And of course we make juices from them, but in the salad it just, you know, it's so beautiful, the redness of it. So the next plant that I want to show you is the Indian oregano. There's a bit down here. It actually, I feel it works better as a plant in a pot. You know, you keep a big pot by the house, or, you know, it will go well in the ground, but here I guess it just doesn't get that much attention. But it's so yummy, this plant. People use it in India a lot to make tikashan, you know, for herbal tea for their throat. It's known as throat plant as well. But this is very good. If you cut it up into a salad or use it in chutneys, it's a wonderful plant. It's got a sort of mentholish taste, but you know, it's also like a bit like oregano, Indian oregano. Let's go and knock out an amazing salad. Guys, I hope you've enjoyed that video. The salad we're going to show you now is going to blow your mind. It's absolutely a benediction, and we really need your help to get the message out there. Support us, like the videos, share them. You know how to do it. Put it on your networks, put it on your Facebook, and let's get this message out there. This is a very beautiful and valuable message, and you guys are part of it. Lots of love, and I hope you like the salad video.